Friends, as many here know, for the past 2 years, we've used our church's anniversary as a day to set a new goal for this congregation. 2 years ago, at our 130th anniversary, we set the goal of welcoming 131 visitors into our worship space for the next year. One visitor for every year the church has stood on this foundation. It was a goal we were all a little freaked out by at first. But a year later, we had exceeded our goal by welcoming more than 180 visitors into our space. And so last year, we set an even more challenging goal of raising our average worshiping attendance for the year to 40 people a week. This proved a much more difficult task. In fact, by early November, we didn't think we were going to be able to do it, because we have to average 48 people for the last 7 weeks of the year if we were going to make it. But before we could dust off the sheet music to the old gray mare, the end of the year came, and as we added up the numbers with no fuzzy math, we realized almost miraculously we had done it. Friends, we did it! We met our goal! We raised our average worshiping attendance to 40 people a week. And it took each of us committing not only to welcoming new people into our space, but to being here ourselves. Now, admittedly, we didn't blow it out of the water. In the end, our average was 40.08 people. And that doesn't change the fact that we did it. And what it reminds us is that everyone counted. That everyone here matters. Not just because if one person had not come on a Sunday that they did, we wouldn't have met our goal. But because we've learned in the last year, by committing to be together more consistently in worship, amazing things can happen. Friends, our community has changed. New ideas, new means of reaching out, a new hope has arisen, or put another way, the gray skies have actually started to clear up. And we're left with smiling faces. We need only look at some of the achievements of the past year to see this, from jazz concerts to arts nights to giant puzzles in the name of world peace. We have come up with new ways of using the gifts of those gathered to share a message of hope with the world, to keep that spirit alive. We launched a website this fall that expands our circle of love around the world. We started Sunday school. We have children to start Sunday school. But the place where perhaps the fruit of our togetherness is most visible is in our new mission statement. Because we took the time to gather more of us consistently together in order to prayerfully consider who we have been as a church and who God is calling us to be, we were able to commit as a congregation to our new mission statement to feed more sheep. It's a ruler we can use to measure the faithfulness of our activities as a church. Does it help us to feed more sheep? Then we should do it. If not, then we shouldn't. And so, having met our crazy goal for the last year, we set another crazy goal. It centers around our mission statement and our worship space. Friends, each week during the next year, we are going to add a short time to the worship service called the Mission Moment. Our goal is that during that time, we would like to hear a different voice each week answer the question, how are you responding to God's call to feed more sheep? We're not asking for a sermon or a long, drawn-out story, but rather a prepared 1 or 2 minute response to that question. How are you responding to God's call to feed more sheep. A sign-up sheet is available right now on the bulletin board in the fellowship hall with 52 spaces beginning next Sunday. It's blank right now. And our goal is that by the end of the year, by January 30th, 2012, to have 52 different names in each of those spaces. Now, for those who don't feel comfortable speaking in front of people, there's an option to just write your response and have someone else read it. Check the box that says write only, and someone else will be assigned to read your short statement. We are going to need all of us in order to accomplish this goal. The truth is, we only have 35 members. Which means everyone is going to need to lend a hand in order for us to have enough voices. Even those who are not officially members of this church, even those who are not yet in our pews, will be encouraged to share. Now, the question that's bound to come to mind, of course, is, what do I say? What if I'm not working in a soup kitchen? What if I don't know how to swing a hammer? What if I really don't like sheep? Who do I feed? And in response, we might do well to remember the words of Jesus from our gospel passage today. They're words we've heard over and over again. We often forget their power. Blessed are the poor in spirit. Blessed are those who mourn. Blessed are the meek. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness. The truth is, we all know some of these people. These people are people we run across on a daily basis, sometimes in our own mirrors. And they are all worthy of feeding. In other words, friends, to feed more sheep, we don't have to build someone a house, start a soup kitchen, or donate all of our money to the church. The last one is an option. No. We have to recognize that the people we come across in our daily lives are all worthy of God's blessing. In other words, we simply have to start treating people like children of God. And so for those who mourn, we might work to offer comfort. For those who are meek, we might work to offer them a voice. And yes, for those who are hungry, we might feed them. Some of us will feed more sheep this year through sharing our gifts of music. Some of us will feed more sheep by forgiving a family member. Some of us will feed more sheep by committing to spend time in prayer for people every day. The point is, it's not going to look the same for any one of us. And it doesn't have to. The good news is we have 132 years of examples of what it means to feed more sheep. Yes, it's true that the mission statement, feed more sheep, was first expressed this last year. But it's been something that has been lived in the bones of this congregation for the last 132. We hear it in their desire to keep the Spirit alive. And friends, we of all people should not underestimate what's possible when people share. After all, this church began when a young woman took the time to share with a few people how God was working in her life. And frankly, if we ever stopped doing that,